Yes. It is so wonderful to be here with you guys. I hope you guys are having an incredible day. Happy holidays for all of you that celebrate this beautiful holiday season. Today we are doing day 17 of our challenge, and you can ask a question. What is this? Hello, Brave Seal. Hello, Kira from the UK. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for joining us. Caroline, hello. Angie, so great to see you. Victoria, Jay Zen. Caroline, you can definitely ask something. Yes. Yes, I am now unmuted. All right, my love. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are going to take a look at human life force exchange, everything that has to do with the exchange system of life force. How do we work with that? What does that mean? What does it mean to have a balanced exchange? And this goes into the conversation about how we are exchanging our life force with another, and how do we become entangled, or how do we become attached or connected to things that are not in our best alignment, right? So this is what we want to kind of take a look at, and we want to understand how to work with that energy. The more conscious we are about how our energy functions in these exchanges, the easier it will be for you to empower yourself in choosing consciously what you're doing. So, I want to make a quick little note about yesterday's meditation. Some of you mentioned yesterday's meditation was really tough, and I know it was. And that's the point. The point of that meditation was to look at the contrast and the disconnect between the innate knowing of the self and how we pulled away from that from childhood to adulthood. But the point of yesterday's meditation is for you to understand that we can always come back, that it's not something that you're working towards. It's not something that you're having to learn. It is innately encoded within you. But we receive so much profound programming, so many external experiences that pull us away from the internal connection, that we lose that part of us. And because of course we are growing up and we're young and we depend on the care of our parents, um, we they become our gods, and our elders become our gods. And again, this is part of the lesson of the transmutation of becoming the whole self, becoming the God, essentially, right? How do you become the God? That's the whole point of yesterday's meditation. How do you give birth to your true self? Despite all of these separations that we've experienced throughout life, coming back to that innate innocence, that divine love that is actually encoded within you. So this is really what it's about. And I hope that you guys enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, put it down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Sun Lazuli, great to see you. Kira, your meditations are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you like them. Jay Zen, hey Geraldine, loving this series, sharing it with my friends. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to hear that. Kevin, hello, loves. We are already everything. Earth School, yes. So Caroline says, I've been wondering if he is my twin flame. I have a screen of paid for 3 years, and my heart got weird from it, being loyal that he's with others, but denying that he's saying it's just us. Okay, Caroline. Well, I'm not that kind of psychic, at least not live here. I can answer some of those questions in a private session. But my job is to teach you and empower you to utilize your intuition and to activate the abilities within you so that you can have the discernment to be able to navigate your life in a way that is open, clear, and in alignment with your highest expression. So that's what I'm here to do. So please check into the body, check in what the signs are. How is the body responding? And look at the patterns of before. Are we repeating the same patterns before? That's what I would look at. Okay. All right. Yes. Message me. Jason, great to see you. All right, love. So today we're going to take a look at exchanges. And one of the primary things that is difficult about exchanges, because at such a young age, we tend to connect to our elders. And we outsource our power because we depend for survival in order to be taken care of. This dynamic of going through a maturity process of now becoming your own provider is something that some of us never reach in our entire lifetime. And it's very interesting because we still think that the external stimulations, experiences, even experiences to want to go and experience something, can come from the subconscious need to feel and desire. So again, we talked yesterday about how the five senses are learning how to master, how to unite the flow between the communication centers of the senses in order to activate the higher faculties of intuition. And that's really what we want to do. But in order to do that, we have to redirect our attention to the internal dialogue. So before in this process of learning these exchanges, these relationships exchanges with the external world, we need to understand, you know, the input for the output. What are we inputting into these relationships? And most of our communication with the external world has a core need at the root of it. If you understand your core need that's at the root of your behaviors, you can begin to understand how to redirect the attention from the external to the internal. So in today's practice, we're going to take a look at some of the core needs and desires that we have as humans. And a lot of times we have a lot of confusing ideas about needs. We have ideas about narcissism. We have ideas about being selfish. And in society that is influenced heavily by religions a lot of time, or any kind of schools of thought in which our individual needs and priorities come second, there's an inversion of truth that makes the human feel shameful for even acknowledging their own needs or asking for their needs to be met. And so this is something that is a disinformation in our society that has caused a lot of suffering for hundreds and billions of people over the ages of darkness and of hypnosis and of disconnect with the self. So when we come into the enlightenment, when we begin to recognize our light or the wisdom and that gnosis that is within us, we begin to tap into a stream of infinite potential, of infinite consciousness that is available through the body, through the vessel. And this infinite consciousness is available to you at any time that you sit in that silence and connection with yourself. So this process of connecting with these innate parts of you help you understand how you are the God, how you are the creator of your every experience. And all of the desires that you have are either magnified or suppressed by the belief systems that you grew up with. Belief systems around shame, guilt, about good and bad, right and wrong. Those are all dualistic ways of looking at these experiences of human condition. So to deprogram that, we need to be able to observe both of them equally and allow the body to become familiar with both sides. Many of us are very familiar with suffering and separation, but not many of us have really embodied and experienced what it means to embody peace, harmony, and acceptance of the most darkest shadows of ourselves. This is essential when we talk about exchanges, because if in the subconscious mind we are at war with ourselves, or if we have a part of us that is disassociating, wanting to escape from the shadow parts of our own self, our desires are going to be skewed and they're going to be suppressed, in that the delivery of our relationship exchanges will become an inversion rather than an absolute, fluid, authentic connection. And we ourselves might not even realize that we are tuning into that expression because it is so deeply ingrained in what we call a personality, which is all of the expressions that we've created in order to, as survival mechanisms, in order to navigate human exchanges as we learned them. Now, I want you to look closely as a child growing up, the kind of relationships that you grew up with, mother, father, siblings, family, friends. Begin to observe the emotions that you most felt during childhood at the times of those exchanges. If there was a lot of uncertainty, suppression, and fear, this is an inherited belief system from the parent lineages. So this is what has to be addressed, because even now in our expression and communication, we immediately refer back to that reference point, which is a trauma point. Anytime that our expression wasn't fully expressed or met, there was a suppression, and that is a trauma. So that is the part that we need to look at and question whether we want to continue suffering, number one, in that way, suppressing, and do we want to continue living in inauthenticity? So those vibrational frequencies, what happens to the physical body when we are in a state of inauthenticity and disconnect with our true desires, suppressing what we truly need and want, is a shutdown of the energetic body, a disconnect of the nervous system, the mind-body connection, so the nervous system and the mind-body connection, and a severance between the physical material realm and the spiritual realm. So anytime that we are at war with ourselves, we disconnect from ourselves. And when we disconnect from the selves, we immediately disconnect from the network, that membrane that we talked about that is within each realm of your chakra expression, is the interconnection to others. So we begin to block out the connection, the flow of life force that is available to us from ourselves and others. So the cultivation of life force is not only about knowing yourself and energizing, but you need to understand what life force and how you are cultivating that life force in the body. Negative emotions are oftentimes a depletion of life force when we don't know how to use them. Negative emotions are information that allow us to understand what we need and understand how to access that deep need that is within the self in order to address it. And it's important for us to look at the emotion this way so that we can be very proactive about connecting and meeting the needs consciously. So, that being said, when we are accessing these needs, identifying your needs at the very least, the emotional needs, spiritual needs, mental needs, physical needs, this is where exchanges now enter an entire different level. The exchanges between yourself are a language of vibrational frequency. And so your subconscious mind is what creates your resonance. Your resonance is what creates the magnetic mechanism that aligns you to the person that you are going to interact with. And this can be the cashier at the register, the person at the store, person walking down the street, your partner, friends, families, all of these unions and interactions that we experience, micro, macro, are an expression resonance of ourselves. So if we begin to observe the patterns that we begin to see in our relationships and in our exchanges, in the way that we communicate, express, feel emotion, this is how you can begin to understand how we self-sabotage in our ability to have a fluid life force. If when you're interacting with another person, your body tenses up and your muscles are tight and you are in a state of survival, immediately that allows you to understand what your vibrational frequency is. And it creates a magnetism in this universe that attracts you to the same kind of contracting experiences. So how we manifest really has a lot to do with how we are seeing and feeling life force within our bodies. Okay. So what we want to do in human exchanges then, and so we're gonna take it to the next level now. As our relationships become more and more intimate. So first of all, in our outer sphere, we end up having a lot of patterns in relationships. And many of you wonder, why can't I break these patterns? I always end up with the same problems. I always end up with the same relationship issues, the same um, feelings about myself. I can never seem to feel good enough, or whatever your subconscious program is. Well, how do you break that? Is by identifying and proactively working on that. So let's take it to the next step. Energetically, you have a resonance energetically that connects you to these spheres, but intimately in the internal world, now when we're talking about creativity, this also blocks your ability to manifest. The throat chakra, the center of communication and expression, is connected to the sacral. The sacral is your sexual, the sacral in the root for men and women. It's the sexual life force energy, which is the most creative life force energy. So anytime that we block our ability to create, whether it's with our words, with our expressions, our exchanges, and our needs and desires, we block the circuits of creation that go up the main meridian line of the body. We block it every single time, and then we block the throat chakra. Now, the throat chakra is an incredibly powerful instrument. When we do mantras and sound work and breath work, it is through the system that we can regulate the nervous system, and through vibrational frequency, realign the body into a higher state of vibrational frequency. People use mantras in order to access these higher states of frequency in the body. Okay, because it creates a vibration inside the internal organs that bring it into a certain state. But there are many other ways to reach these states, to go beyond that, to transcend beyond that. It's the language of frequency, and everything that we speak creates a shape and a form and manifest into the physical in this same way. So in order for us to begin to work with vibrational frequency and the alchemy of this exchange that we're having with the world, we have to open up the sacral, the root, and the throat chakra. And manifestation, bringing your biggest desires and dreams into the world, this is the core code on how to do that. So if we don't have these areas open, fluid, and flowing, it's going to be very hard for you to manifest the job that you want, get out of the situation, living situations, relationships, whatever it feels that you're stuck, even spiritually. These are the key elements that break the patterns of blockage in the body. So we need to get to that main root core and deprogram those programs so that we can begin to manifest. We talked about the system of manifestation. The system of manifestation is an entire instrument of resonance that aligns you into the thing that you are most trying to align with. And it's in our understanding of ourselves that we refine that vibrational frequency. So I'm going to just quickly open up something to share with you. But essentially, when we talk about creative life force now, we talked about manifestation, bringing things into life. The next step is bringing life. What brings these manifestations into life is a very clear subconscious intention. So when we use the 8th chakra and the 7th chakra, this is we have three major energy centers in the body: the lower dantian, the mid, and the upper, right? So we talked about the material realm, the spiritual realm, and when those two unite, the third is created. The heart center, the coherence, where all of these pieces come together. This is the center of manifestation. And when we are it is the integration of feminine and masculine within the body. When we're uniting with someone to create a life, remember, it's this feminine and masculine life force that biologically comes together to create the third as well. So we're doing this same kind of unification process in a fractal manner, micro and macro within our multidimensional body. So in order to embody exchanges and relationships, especially when we come together in union, the two bodies that come together are merging. They merge their entire spheres of information. They merge the entire encoding of DNA, which is a holographic system of information, subconscious programmings, that when that unification occurs, this is the kind of merging that when one of these two energies is out of balance or in a pattern of depletion, it becomes a parasitic exchange. So when two of these partners are in state of co-creation, it becomes an exchange that is balanced and co-creative together. Okay. So this is what we want to kind of look at when we talk about this creation mechanism. Let me come over here and share my screen because I want to share with you. Oh, and it's fine. Okay, so when we look at the organs of the body, all of these organs of the body are systems of manifestation, as we talked about yesterday. When we start clearing out the emotional blockages in the physical body, we become a generator of life force. We talked about creating balance, and these main systems connect with the endocrine system, that connect with the chemical system in the body, that secrete chemicals in the body. So the secretions that we have are either yin or yang. So if you're in survival, you have one or the other out of balance. Okay. And it's different for people based on their programming and their understanding of survival. But these mechanisms become an inherent part of us. All of these organs have a vibrational resonance individually to them based on the emotions and how you process emotions and how you process health through the body. Health means becoming whole, the unification of the feminine and masculine, the ability to see and hold space for both the shadow and the light within you, and the integration of these, going into the creation mode, which this is what we are designed for. We are designed to create and manifest. So when any of these systems are holding heavy emotions, heavy traumas, heavy fears, heavy anxieties, our entire field is actually blocking in its ability to manifest and bring things into its highest co-creation. So when the union, when two people come into union, this is where we begin to have imbalanced exchanges where the energy becomes codependent. And this can occur in many different experiences. It can recur in intimate relationships and relationships with just people in general. Watch how your energy is exchanging. And most of that comes from the root of desire, need. So if we are unfamiliar with the core desires and needs, then our exchanges will always be in the balance. To learn how to hold your space energetically means that you are very aware of the emotions in your body. You are very aware of your subconscious triggers and how you magnetically work with your life force. So this is incredibly important when we talk about life force exchange of the human. When we have unhealthy masculine side, there is a weakness, a lack of life force, low value of our own life, angry, fearful, intimidated. The person has bravado, bragging, showing off, foolish risk-taking, doubting, indecisiveness, inattentiveness, unreasonableness. So these are just examples, but all of these emotional states are deep, deep subconscious programs. Okay. On the other side, unhealthy feminine is uncaring. She doesn't care, or he doesn't care. These can both be expressed in both men and female. Low value on lives of others, mean, selfish, greedy, interfering, sabotaging, gossiping, isolating, withholding, indifferent, impatient, blame, and despair. So these life forces essentially come to two things: the lack of love and the lack of power. Those two things, two things completely become isolated from one another. These are both the blockages for counter creation. This is how we counter create. So in the exchanges of your dynamics, even in your communication, how are you expressing? Are you an expression? And most of these reasons, the root reasons behind both of these unhealthy feminine and masculine aspects, are a belief that we require from the external to support us. Okay, so for example, anger, there's expectation, there is need, desire that has been unmet, and we don't believe that we will ever have the ability to provide that. Much less do we believe that the world has the ability to. So these emotions are deeply intertwined with resentment. So all of these are blockages. And remember that each one of these emotions have different homes within the body because of their vibrational frequency. So we store and we stagnate and we affect our physical body based on those belief systems and how we reinforce them through our everyday actions in our life. So we begin to block life flow in the body and we become an imbalanced manifester. Okay, so these two aspects of the self, both feminine and masculine aspects, are what lead the man to come, a man as in general, human, to come into a state of dormant suppression of co-creation. We no longer become a creator. We are, let's go over here to our creator chart. We end up embodying states of helplessness. No God. We don't even believe that there is a God or not a God. We go into a state of false gods where we look external to us in order to find comprehension, support, survival, protection, and power. So these are the dynamics of the root, imbalanced solar plexus. So if these are anywhere in your subconscious belief systems, how we exchange is also this vibrational frequency. And it is why exchange dynamics are out of balance. So when we talk about alchemy, the alchemization process is not just, in order to pull up energy into the body, we refine this metal, this very, let's say, rusty metal that is heavy wavelength, heavy vibrational frequency, into a refined gold by the ability of understanding these aspects in order to find balance once again. And these two imbalanced aspects of ourselves that come into a homeostasis begin to create a balance within the body that is absolutely incredible. The balance that is created within the body, within this integration, is a unification of the lower body and the higher. So let's take a look. Like when we look at these two bodies coming in integration, the way that life force begins to generate in the lower dantian, mid and the upper dantian, the marriage between the material and the spiritual is what begins to bring the human into the life of a God creator. And this is where we begin to break the patterns of life force flow in the body. So this law of exchange, essentially what we want to identify is, are we more parasitic? Okay, meaning, do we look externally to fulfill the needs of our subconscious reactions, or are we a co-creator? And the co-creation is something that we must learn to transcend and navigate in all dimensional layers. Every single one of these dimensional layers that we're navigating in waking state and in dream state, some of you that already have heightened sense of intuition are already navigating many dimensions simultaneously. You see things, you interact with things constantly, and you are in constant communication. Well, all of that is fantastic, but we need to understand that everything that we meet in any dimensional expression and any experience is a reflection of the subconscious co-creation systems that we have within us, because it is encoded in our DNA, which informs the morphogenetic field. How we manifest experiences and external relationships is through the resonance connection system of the morphogenetic field. It's within this field that we begin to attract the things that come into our sphere. It's within the morphogenetic field that we begin to co-create experiences that are either repeating the encoded karmic cycles within our DNA, or we are breaking the karmic cycles in order to access a co-creation state outside of that. And that's actually when you start really living your true purpose, when you live outside of that karmic cycle. So anytime that you are still in a state of survival, fear, anxiety, separation, you are living within the confines of your genetic makeup, which is inherited belief systems and the karmic cycles. When you break them, you begin to enter into the present moment, 0 point, and the body begins to find an integration between these dualities into that 0 point of homeostasis that creates incredible wellness and vitality for the human body. When this human comes into a physical union with another, the ability to manifest as a union becomes really, really powerful. And as we mentioned before, this sexual life force energy being one of the most powerful energies, especially for men, because when men deplete that life force, it just drains them of a large part of their energy source. For women, it's not the same. Women don't really deplete that much life force within, sexual energy, or let's say the orgasm, but within their menstruation cycle. Okay, it is the release and depletion of life force that the person begins to activate higher levels. Now, this is also very important because in interdimensional contact, the reason why I'm also going to talk about this is because in interdimensional contact, the beings that we interact with, some people are in a hybridization program, some people are having parasitic contact experiences. We engage in these kinds of agreements based on how we utilize our creative life force energy, how we are encoded and indoctrinated to use that for many lineages. So that's why the hybridization program occurs in families that have bloodlines that have accessed and mutated higher states of consciousness at some level within that DNA lineage is often utilized, because when that DNA accesses a high point of transmutation, and through this alchemical process, it creates an activation of higher genetic accessibility. And the person that is born from this kind of a interaction and union is a human that can travel many dimensional planes. So the more you alchemize, your DNA begins to shift. There are mutations that occur in our genetic makeup, in our DNA. It is almost like that Christ consciousness that comes into play through the transmutation process of the lower into the higher, into the pineal gland, that begins to create that secretion that begins to go into the spine, into the sacral, that begins to create this generator of life force energy. This mechanism is essentially the becoming of this illumination, of the illuminated body. And that illuminated body is the one that has the ability to transcend the physical and navigate higher dimensional planes. Why? Because when you experience the process of this profound collapsing of lower brain waves, collapse of waves, the implosion process that occurs internally through your genetic makeup, your DNA, and your multidimensional body, allows you to begin to access all of this genetic data that is available to you. You also have access to deeper states of being, deeper brain waves. Okay, so it's all an interconnected system of co-creation and manifestation. These deeper brain waves that we can access allow us to have access to higher frequencies. Every single higher frequency that we have access to, we train visibility in that frequency, and that allows you to be able to navigate those higher dimensional planes. Okay, so let's say many of you are already navigating that dimensional plane. Great. What do we do then, right? So within the navigation of these higher dimensional planes, we also are experiencing the exact same thing that we're doing here. Okay, which is learning how to balance the exchange of life force. It's all about exchanges. Why? Because we live in a three-dimensional plane in which it's about the contrast in order to experience the duality that unites into one. How do we become one with all that we see external to us if everything is this exchange? Okay, so when you learn how to hold your space, it no longer ends up being an exchange with just the immediate network. Okay, so when you're in survival, it's give and take, give and take, give and take with yourself, give and take with others, give and take with family, give and take with your inner circle, colleagues. But when you begin to unify the internal, you become a source of life force, because you begin to generate higher vibrations of frequency within the body and open the runways of life force in your toroidal field through the deblocking, the unblocking, and deprogramming of limiting belief systems. And it's at this state that you begin to access into the network. We talked about the ninth chakra the other day. Well, it's within that network that you begin to activate the seventh and eighth chakra. So you're not going to get to the ninth if you don't activate the seventh and the eighth. The seventh and the eighth is the initiation into your conscious co-creation. Where is your intention? So this has to be illuminated. So right now, everyone in the chat, everyone that's here listening to me, is your crown system activated? Have you illuminated your eighth chakra with your creative color? Have you put it into the seventh chakra in order to align with your highest expression out of the karmic cyclical pattern? This is how you begin to do that. And what happens when we start to do that is that you no longer end up living in the law of accident. The entire organism begins to come realigned with its highest expression. This is the illumination of the light body. The Christmas tree, for example, the lighting of the Christmas tree, the star at the top of the Christmas tree is a representation of this illumination of the pineal gland and the illumination of the integration of feminine and masculine into the highest state of manifestation. And we do that. We become this Christ embodiment. And the only reason why I'm using the word Christ is because it's what we are celebrating now in this holiday. But any kind of deity and the life of that deity of illumination, the pattern of the Buddha, the pattern of the Krishna, all of the illuminated masters of the world expressed in the same way when their halo begins to illuminate. And that halo is essentially the activation of this crown. And it is where the human, the material, the physical is now integrating with the highest, with the non-physical realm. That unification is the creation of this incredible Merkaba, or the unification of the DNA which in which we live. We exist within a DNA strand. We are that DNA strand. Okay? So this is what we need to activate in this body. All right. So today, and so wait, just to finish that off, because I want to say one last thing, that when we learn how to manifest that, any of our interactions in higher dimensional levels, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13, in which we're having ET contact, interdimensional experiences, this is a must. Everyone should be having interdimensional contact, because we need to learn. That's us opening the vision into higher dimensional frequencies. And just like you're learning like a human to navigate life in your everyday relationships, we are learning how to navigate the agreements that we make through our subconscious and the collective subconscious agreements of programs, and to learn how to transcend them. So you are an alchemist in all dimensional levels. You turn the low into the light. So this is the same for contractual agreements with parasitic beings, entities, attachments. There is nothing that has more power than you in this dimensional layer, in this three-dimensional plane, because you are the co-creator. We are intermeshed into a morphogenetic field in which it's through your DNA that you create the signal, the radio signal of resonance that allows you to experience all of these things that are external to you, every single one. So in this awakening, in this awareness of the self, the empowerment of man comes into play when the full embodiment occurs. It means that you're owning your space, owning your experience, and owning everything else that comes into your sphere. Okay, so in today's meditation, we're going to go into those aspects of exchange, and begin to do the alchemy, the internal alchemy of observing the blockages between exchanges and our desires and needs in order to get to the root of what it is that we are trying to, what we need, what we're trying to access. Okay. So I want you to get nice and comfortable. Thank you everyone for joining me. I love you. I love you guys for joining me today. Let's take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And with every breath you take, allowing yourself to come into a state of complete relaxation, complete calm. Breathing deeply. I want you to visualize a golden light coming up from the center of the earth as it comes rushing up into the body, creating a vortex of energy all around you. And as you see this beautiful golden light creating that vortex of energy, we're going to clear our 13 layers. So just visualize for now the rotation of that golden energy around your whole body. Notice if your body feels like rocking. Notice if your body responds. How does it respond? Visualize from source, the gold cosmic light coming down from the crown and combining with this gold energy. So we have gold from the earth and gold from above, creating a cocoon of gold life force all around us. Breathing. You're going to take 10% of that, send it back down, create your anchor, bring cosmic energy into the center of the earth. And we're going to hold space here at the center of the earth. I want you to take yourself down to the center of the earth. As you pull cosmic energy through your body into the center of the earth, I want you to feel a profound connection to this earth. as you anchor yourself, as you become one with nature, the natural rhythms and laws of nature that align us with truth, align us with oneness and balance. To begin to feel the body adjusting to this state of being, as you begin to notice any parts of you that are in resistance, that are in control states. When we connect with truth, we have to be in flow state, absolute flow state. There cannot be any desire for control when you are looking for truth. Breathing. You're going to take 80% of that, send it up your spine from the crown of your head, creating a fountain coating the outside of your sphere, neutralizing your connection to the matrix. Go ahead and call back your life force from any experiences that we've entangled. Anytime that you've applied meaning or judged anything that you've experienced externally, you immediately become entangled. There is an exchange here. So go ahead and call back your life force from any of these exchanges that are out of balance. You're going to take that final 10%, bring it into the body, into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cellular level of the body. Regenerating the body. Okay, close the root chakra, the sacral, the solar. Expand the heart, front and back. Expand the throat, front and back. Expand the third eye. Let's go up into the 7th and the 8th. Go ahead and activate the 8th. Fill it in with your creative color. And if you don't feel you have one, go ahead and use gold. And you're going to send that down into the 7th. We're going to illuminate and align ourselves in every area of our life with our highest expression, the expression of the God creator in the area of career, relationship, consciousness, joy, intimacy, love, creativity, creative life force, sexual energy, money, abundance, exchanges, health, and finally, your purpose. Fill it in. As you activate the 7th and you're running energy through the body, taking nice deep breath, we're going to spend a moment just exploring how this feels. Not from just the feeling body, but from the observer, the knowing. Observe yourself as you run energy through the 3 dimensions of your body. Very good. I want you to begin to observe yourself now over the past 24 hours. Take a look at yourself. Go ahead and tune in to the emotion that most comes up in the past 24 hours. Go ahead and feel that emotion in your body. Identify what part of the body tenses up as you feel that emotion. Your mind will automatically take you as you ask the question where it is in your body. Trust what comes up. Go ahead and focus on that body part. And I want you to take all your attention there as you begin to heighten your sensation and feeling uh, tools in that part of your body. And as you connect with that feeling, I want you to name out the emotions that come up. Go ahead and identify the strongest emotion of this list. Go ahead and, as you are absolutely present with this emotion, notice what part of the body tenses up the most as you feel it. Notice if the body starts to fidget or move around or have a difficult time sitting with this emotion. That's because we are escaping from this emotion or trying to avoid it. I want you to sit with it 100%, fully present with it. And I want you to take yourself back to the very first time that you experienced this emotion. Take yourself there. And if you don't have a very first time, you can take yourself to the last time, the last most memorable time. I just want you to notice the role that this emotion plays in your life. Go ahead and notice. How familiar are you with the dynamics of this emotion? How much of you has changed in order to avoid this emotion or to maneuver around it? And how much of this maneuvering or avoidance has pulled you deeper into feeling this emotion or to perhaps making it almost a life theme? Sit with this emotion and name out the emotions inside of that emotion to begin to understand yourself deeper. As you begin to observe the thought forms that begin to arise within this emotion, gently don't judge the emotions that come up, but just ask yourself if they are truths. We seem to create all kinds of belief systems based on our emotions in order to survive or to protect ourselves. But is it true that they are doing what we think they're doing in terms of protection? Or do we just tell ourselves that we're doing that and, in fact, harming the self? And just sit for a moment to notice how this has affected your subconscious beliefs around relationships and exchanges. Why has this become an uncomfortable dynamic? As you observe, What are some of the lies that we tell ourselves? What are some of the untruths that we hold on to so dearly? What does it mean to have power? What does it mean to be empowered in this physical world where we experience all kinds of physical things, inversions of truth, injustices? What does power really mean for the human? Does it mean force? Does it mean balance? Does it mean fear? Does it mean love? Take a look at that. What's the truth? How can someone embody power in a place of unity, in a way of unity? The law, the belief of love, the opposite of fear, has to be so profound. It has to be that inner knowing, that innate part of us, that spark of life force that is within us to emerge. So take a look at how quickly all the injustices around us, the fears, and even the desires begin to shift slightly as we begin to embody love. Love not as a romantic emotion, but as in the 0 point that sees all things as a part of oneself. Just observe. What does yourself need? And as you begin to observe a birth of trust that is required between yourself and this love, this internal source of infinite potential, begin to see all of the fractals of yourself throughout your life that have been in a state of fear, separation, isolation, loneliness, and disconnect, that have felt helpless and weak and overpowered by the external. Begin to introduce them to this love, to this awareness. And as you see your fractals begin to shift, you begin to learn something about power, about relationships and exchanges. This is the formula in order to navigate and maintain balance in your emotional body, in your exchanges. And it's also how you can maintain balance in many dimensional levels. It all comes back to the self. As you begin to see the fractals of yourself beginning to become empowered, illuminated, and whole once again, as you begin to grow that inner trust in yourself, that you are your most powerful protector, your most powerful source of love. Observe these parts of you beginning to integrate into oneself. You're going to inhale this part of you into your body as you integrate with the root, the sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye. 7 bodies in, 7 bodies out, all charges down to 0, negative infinite. As we come into that neutral 0 point, allow yourself to sit in this silence as you imagine yourself in a completely clear white room. Your senses become heightened. The air is fragrant, nourishing, and whole. And with every breath you take, you feel your body becoming nourished by being absolutely present in this moment. Observing the images and communications of this place and what they have in store for you. You're going to begin to clear the first layer of your body. Go ahead and visualize the sphere of the first layer of the body. And almost as if you're cleaning a shower wall with one of those squeegees, you begin to visualize pulling down all the debris in the first layer of your body. Go ahead and clear it out. Imagine that this sphere is all around you, front, back, above, below, and you're going to pull down from the top down, and you're going to eliminate it down to the center of the earth, out through the center core of the center of the earth. Go ahead and visualize almost like a vacuum pulling out of your sphere all the noise, all the debris, any kind of imbalanced exchanges in the root chakra. Fear programs, beliefs. You're going to go up to your sacral chakra. Go ahead and see the sphere around your body of the sacral chakra. And you're going to clear out that entire field from top to bottom, eliminating all the debris, all the blockages, stagnant emotions that are here in your sacral. Notice how much lighter the body feels as you go into the solar plexus now. Once again, clear out from the solar plexus all of the debris, all the stagnation, as you begin to eliminate completely out of your body any blockages in the solar plexus, solar body. Right now, you are purifying this core substance that we are going to bring up into the body. You're going to go up into the heart chakra now. Go ahead and visualize clearing out all the blockages in the heart chakra. Fears, anxieties, feelings of unworthiness, of disconnect, of loneliness. Those are the big ones in the heart chakra. Just go ahead and visualize clearing that out. Notice where information becomes dense and hard to remove, and you can use your imagination to just clear it out as best as possible. You're going to go up into your throat chakra. Go ahead and clear it out, clearing out from the field, 360 degrees all around your body, clearing out from the throat chakra. Blockages of communication, everything that doesn't allow us to have open, clear communication and exchanges. Go ahead and take a look at that. You're going to go up into the fifth chakra now in the third eye. Go ahead and visualize clearing that out. I'm sorry, sixth. And visualize 360 degrees clearing out from the sixth chakra, the sixth body, all the blockages, all the debris that we hold on to. This is very important to clear out programs of mistrust, especially in yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you don't trust anyone else. So go up now into the seventh chakra, clearing out all the belief systems that limit your ability to manifest and co-create. Go up into the eighth, clear it out. And I want you to begin to observe yourself at all of the blockages around your relationships and exchanges. As you review them, what are the things that are blocking you from keeping fluid exchanges with one another? Friends, family, relationships, intimate partnerships. Take a look at that. Just observing everything that you require in order to now have fluid exchanges, allowing yourself to be in your absolute authenticity, without shame, without fear, without anger, without going into the past or the future, without unworthiness. I want you to speak to every cell in your body, to the organs in your body, to allow yourself to release all of those heavy emotions that you have towards yourself and others. Notice how almost instantly you come into a state of complete peace, calm, and you can almost come back into that childlike state in which things become light, fun, joyful. This is the flow state. Very good. You're going to go up into your ninth chakra. Go ahead and activate the ninth. Activate the 10th. Activate the 11th. The 12th. The 13th. And above you is a powerful white light, a source. Go ahead and anchor yourself in that white light. Once again, bring it down through the body like a pillar of white light. As you anchor it down to the center of the earth, breathing deeply. I want you to pull up the pelvic floor as you begin to absorb that life force up your spine, massaging the spine, activating the spine with gentle pressure as it goes up into the pineal gland. Gentle pressure as you allow the fall to begin to close the circuit. Put your tongue to the roof of the mouth, creating the circuit of life force through your body. Once again, pulling up, And we're going to add one more thing as we begin to pull up, that you pull up life force from the two dualities of the sexual organs, the ovaries or the testicles for the men. Just visualize pulling up that life force up into the pineal gland as you push up the pelvic floor. Imagine that you are pulling up life force into the body, drawing it in and allowing the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth and allowing that life force to create and complete that circuit. Feeling refreshed, renewed. Notice a really strong, calm foundation in the body. You built this today. You brought yourself into a state of a strong foundation, and you are now equipped. Not only in your subconscious mind have you made some things aware, but you also shifted your frequency in a way that you are now consciously co-creating. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have an incredible day. For those of you that celebrate Merry Christmas. I hope you have an incredible time. For those of you that don't, spend this time with family, with yourself, expanding your light, cultivating that love and that peace in the internal body, and become a vessel of that for the whole. So let me come into the chat and just say hello to everyone. Yay, I love hitting the lives. Thank you, Jessica, for joining us. Rob Core, every day is a gift, hence the present. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you, Rob. Do you have a mask on? Person Latin. I'm just in between. I don't know what to believe, and I don't know how, if I can trust my feeling when not fully healed. Some says he stops when I'm fully aligned. So, Caroline, we have to pull ourselves away from any kind of relationship for a moment when we're trying to make these kinds of big discernments and focus on the healing. The healing doesn't need to take months, years. You can work by acknowledging the fears that are currently in the body of loss and of these imbalanced exchanges. And I hope this meditation helped you with that, because it's literally designed for that conversation. So just observe, if many relationships, the reason why we're in relationships is to teach us and to learn how to transcend patterns. So I ask you to be courageous with yourself and with your shadows, and to meet them in a way that you can come into your full self in pure authenticity, to get very clear about your needs and to really question whether you can meet them, and how you can meet them, instead of externalizing the having them met from someone else. So if you take a look at that, it might really help create a solid internal foundation. Okay, but do reach out if you need some more support with that. Jay Zen says, let nothing be separate from your awareness. Yes. IT guy, hello. So great to see you. Blessings by the best. Om, thank you so much for that. Christine, so good to see you. Hello, Jaden13. Kevin, welcome. So great to see you guys. All right. Well, Angie, yes, it's Christmas morning in Australia. Happy holidays to you, Pono. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. Ascending Ancient, greetings. Can you upload this to a Dropbox for us? So this meditation is going to be in the app, my website app. If you have a moment to download that, you can grab it anytime, and you can also subscribe to the channel and get it from the playlist. I don't know if I'll have it for download, but I get that question a lot, so I might be able to do that soon. Know thyself. Yes, know thyself. I lit up last night, no joke, from the root upward all the way. Wow, Lisa, that's amazing. So happy to hear that. I'm just looking for any questions. Geraldine, is seeing ghosts crazy? My dog passed away 2 years ago, but I feel her visit me. There is no threat. I can feel her bump in my bed. She would normally snuggle with me. No, there's nothing crazy about seeing ghosts, as you know. We talk about being constantly interdimensionally active. So, in fact, the more you open your vision, the more you're going to see around you. And many people get to that point and they become overwhelmed and they want to run away from that. But in reality, we are constantly moving and interacting with all kinds of things around. In fact, if we did connect with this, you would never feel alone if you really opened your eyes to these higher visions. You are never, never alone. And so that's where you begin to learn that trust in yourself, regardless of where you are. So, definitely if you're connected with a pet, when my cat passed away, I also felt her presence for years after she passed away. So definitely connect with that, see what it is. It's a reflection of ourselves, an aspect of ourselves visiting and connecting. Remember the emotion that they triggered in you. That's the invitation. Come into that emotion of love, of connection, of warmth, of protection. That's what they're there for and what the reminder is about. So Celestial Rose, Alchemy, so great to see you. Love you. Thank you, Geraldine. Feeling very calm. That's amazing. Thank you, Geraldine. Lately, when I open the YouTube app on my phone, you are live and you pop up. Wow, it must be meant to be to connect with you. Thank you, Geraldine. You're invaluable. Much love to you, Jaden. This group co-creating these amazing meditations and moments. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to hear that. All right, my loves. Feliz Navidad for all of you that speak Spanish. I am so happy. Thank you so much. Teal Bond, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. I really appreciate that. Happy holidays. It is such a divine gift to receive that. Great noise. Be well, everyone. Oh, Angie, thank you so much for that super chat. Happy holidays. I really appreciate that. What is your website app? If you go to the Wix Spaces app and you find my name, a Bay Area meditation, you can join and get all of these slides and not all of them, most of them, and the video replays. Okay. I will post the link below when I upload this video. Thank you so much, Maria Walter. I'm also confused about if I should celebrate the birthday of Jesus or is it a pagan festival? Yeah, definitely do your research to understand if your alignment with the holiday. But celebration is always a wonderful thing, and to come into joy, to me, this is a celebration of light, of the enlightenment of man, coming into that enlightenment, using all of this symbolism of light. And the vibrational frequency of the earth does go up during this time, in some ways. Okay, there's also a lot of the opposite, and so we have to be very realistic of that and open to that duality that we exist in. So for me, this is a time of really connecting with the heart. It is winter solstice. It's time to retreat. It's time to meditate. It's time to prepare for the new year as it comes in the next couple months and begin to expand this new flourishing aspect of ourselves. So connect with yourself. Don't worry so much about what you should or shouldn't do. Be authentic in your expression and what you need at this time. And, celebrate from that perspective rather than anything else. What energies are feeling coming up for the collective 2023? Wow, we have a lot coming up for 2023. And I will probably make a little video on that when we get to New Year's next week. But it's going to be a pretty powerful year in major shifts, especially in the first quarter. The first and second quarter are going to be pretty major changes and shifts. And then after that, things are going to level out a little bit. But holding your space and knowing who you are or not is coming into that 0 point is essential at this time. Coming into that fluid state is essential at this time. So I really invite you to do the shadow work now so that you can help yourself and hold space regardless of what happens externally. Kimberly Rupp, thank you, Geraldine. I so appreciate everything, expanding and growing so much. Yay. What were the major themes of 2022 you noticed in the moving through? So 2022 was all about the uprising of the deepest shadows, the parts that you haven't been wanting to address for a long time. It's about coming into a maturity, spiritual maturity. I mean, we have a lot of ideas about spirituality, but the embodiment of spirituality is what is the next step now. It's no more about fantasies or illusion, moving away from concepts into physical experience and embodiment. It's a maturity, a maturing of the relationship with yourself and the universe. So I really think that's what 2022 was about. And next year is going to be the implementation of everything that we learned and prepared for in 2022. That's why it takes things to another level. Hello, Geraldine, another amazing gift of connection. Thank you, Lee. Love you, Siobhan. Lee, thank you for that generous super chat. I love you guys so much. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Geraldine, for describing the layers today. Very helpful. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. Field of Theater, Celebrating of the Light. Hello, Christine. Yes. Christmas from the Yule, the Celtics, or the pagan. Yeah, there's a lot of different stories. So make sure you understand those and choose wisely. I agree and feel that from 2022, all about embodiment has been my focus. Wow, thank you for answering my question. I agree. Any advice for former ET souls and current earthlings for 2023? I have, well, all of these videos are advice, really, because everything that I'm talking to you in these videos are basically why and what we need to prepare for, and how to do it. So please, the integration of duality, and maturing of our technology of the physical body is key. Understand how DNA functions, understand how we manifest the mechanisms of the body, and really kind of be cautious. I mean, your body is such a valuable instrument. If you take care of it in that way, and if you begin to have this symbiotic relationship with the universe, you are so super powerful. So if I'm here for anything but to just remind you of that for just a few minutes so that you can take that into your life, that is my major goal. But anyway, we're going to continue this challenge and talk about a lot more. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. All my love. See you then. Bye bye. Thank you so much, everyone.